All right, welcome back to Fucking Socks, a podcast, episode 169. Today on the show, Chris Cuomo is doing some COVID backtracking and is trying to pretend he wasn't in on the psyop. Luckily, we didn't forget. Then, in Cringe of the Week, what are the kids learning in the California public college system? Hint, it's trans rap taught by a furry professor. Then, in Urban Decay, this black woman accuses a restaurant of racism because of a garnish in her drink. And last but not least, these twinks acquired a baby, and we're going to tell you why they should be in jail. All this and more, it's Fleckus Talks, the podcast, episode 169, ranked the best new podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words, but at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
It's Fleckus Talks, the podcast, featuring Richard Grab.
All right, one for one on the intro. As always, guys, this week's episode is brought to you by viewers like you. We canceled the ad read this week. I just wanted to use this time to thank you guys for watching the show and being such a good, loyal, highly engaged audience. We couldn't do it without you. You come back every week. You love the show. You share the show. You comment, you like, you juice, you tickle, all the good stuff. We greatly appreciate it. We are so grateful to have an audience like you, and we're coming into an important time. So keep tuning in, keep sharing the show, keep joining Bonus Land, and keep buying merch from FleckusMerch.com. Thank you guys for keeping the lights on. Let's have a great year. Another 500 episodes on its way. Wouldn't happen without you. Let's get into housekeeping. All right, thank you to Fleckus for that nice sentences he did.
Yeah, it feels like Time Magazine in 2006 or whatever when the person of the year is you. So yeah. That's our version.
The person of the year is you guys. Thank you very much. We do have a new arrival here at the studio. I just got my hat for summer. It's the George Floyd I Can't Breathe hat with the trans flag cover.
Nice. Pretty
cool. It says George Floyd I Can't Breathe. I'm going to wear this around and confuse some people. Yeah. And it also has the trans colors, which is weird.
Yeah, I don't think it's trying to be the trans colors, but it was incidentally. And I don't know. I'm calling your bluff. I don't think you're actually going to wear that anywhere.
What? You think I can?
No. You might get sucker punched by the wrong people.
Well, what if I'm just trying to remember the guy?
That's true. You have to really be convincing as soon as someone confronts you.
Brother.
So like, brother.
We're in this together, brother.
Yeah.
I'm your ally. All right, it's great for summer. Maybe it is a little racist or a little insensitive.
I don't know. I'm not worried about either.
Me neither. But you know who isn't worried about it either?
Who?
Kathy Hochul. She has some things to say that were actually, if you were going to start pointing at racism and saying what's racist and what's not, you could point at this and you'd have a good example.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word a computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things.
They don't know what a computer is. See, our racism that we get accused of is maybe being insensitive. Maybe we don't respect the sacred cows of the left, like George Floyd or fat black women.
Yeah.
Or
Lizzo.
Maybe we analyze data and extrapolate a little too much. Like if I see a car full of black teenagers and they're going fast in like a Dodge Charger.
Ski masks.
With ski masks, maybe I'll go, I might stay away from them.
That's something to avoid, probably, right?
Yeah,
or
exactly.
broad statistics like, this seems like an anomaly compared to the rest of the races. That's a straight line up, It's nuanced, like, maybe people do different behaviors. Maybe different groups have different things, right?
Yeah, so maybe it's like analyzing the data a little too far. That's what you could say about us.
Yeah.
But Kathy Hochul just thinks black people don't know what computers are.
These black people, they don't know what a computer is. Like, imagine like pointing at someone being like, you don't know what a computer is. It's like actually racist.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
Actual low expectations.
Yeah.
But, of course, black people know what computers are. They know they're valuable, and they steal them.
Yeah.
Here they are right here. Here's them knowing what a computer is.
This is footage of 2 suspects that were caught on camera stealing 8 laptops. So there you go.
They know what laptops are.
Yeah, trust me, Kathy, they do.
All right, moving on. Speaking of fake racism, there were some teenagers that were kicked out of their high school for allegedly wearing blackface, but it was actually acne cream. Can you read the headline?
Yeah, teens kicked out of elite Catholic school for blackface awarded $1 million by jury after proving it was just an acne mask.
Yeah, so they took some pictures. They got in trouble. And then there were 2 kids, I think, in the suit, and they got $500K each, and then their $70,000 tuition reimbursed.
Yeah, and so this is just another one of those cases. Like, I kind of have an interesting opinion. People are saying, like, oh, we're so back, you can't, like, discriminate against white kids, blah, blah, blah. I just see this as a whole waste of time, and then another example of there never being an adult in the room.
Yeah.
Like, at no point it's like, okay, yeah, maybe a bad look, but you're not expelled, obviously, for taking pictures of something at home. Nobody throughout the thing. And then now all the property taxpayers or the school itself is out $1 million. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's a private school, so it might not be the taxpayers, but like the school can't build that new wing or get the kids computers that Kathy Hochul thinks no black kids know about. But like the school is just out $1 million just because nobody was like, all right, everybody calm down. Like,
it could have been nipped in the bud right away. Like, guys, we're making a joke. Let's relax. Maybe take it down.
Yeah.
No big deal. But everyone was on edge because racism is everywhere and you don't want to get in trouble. So everyone's on edge. And what happens? They overreact. And then they kick the kids out. And then when you break it down, what actually happened, they just put acne cream on and took a picture.
And $1 million was lost to nothing.
And now you get $1 million. Yeah. So that's great.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Once again, it's like, are there any adults in the room? That's the question I keep asking when these horrible headlines and decisions get made. And it seems like a lot of places just have HR type women running it.
Yeah, and homosexuals probably.
Yep.
Vaccinated fat women and homosexuals. And they go, I don't know what to do. This is so racist. This could be a nationwide story. We need to act. And then they bring more attention to themselves and then they lose $1 million.
Exactly.
All right, moving on. Speaking of letting down the young men of America, the Boy Scouts are now gay and trans. Is that correct?
Not quite. Well, actually, we'll let you do it. The Boy Scouts are changing their name to Scouting America, the first name change in 114 years. And I want you guys to listen to some of the words that this guy says.
Sends this really strong message to everyone in America that they can come to this program, they can bring their authentic self, they can be who they are, right, and they will be welcomed here.
Authentic self is
be who they are.
It's LGBTQ dog whistle.
Those are dog whistles. Yeah.
They accuse the right of doing dog whistles. Authentic self, come be who you are.
Yeah, put on a furry suit. Come on, boys. It's open season, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
One of the things that I'm more offended of this whole thing, and like I guess this could even go back to Aunt Jemima, is like just nuking a brand that's been around for decades. This is 114 years, one of the strongest brands, arguably one of the top 5 pure Americana brands out there, Boy Scouts. And then like kids become Eagle Scouts. That happens in like high school. So they have you from when you're 6 years old all the way to like 16, 17 doing like hard stuff to get a final badge. And now it's like, let the twinks in.
Yeah.
Get rid of the name, let the twinks in. Like, what a bad one-for-one switch.
Exactly. And at first, they let the girls in.
Yeah.
Now they're officially changing the name. And then, as most people know, Boy Scouts was one of the legs holding up the gender table in America.
Yeah.
And now that that's gone, we can't call them Boy Scouts. We have to call them, what do they say, trans scouts?
Yeah, basically. It's
authentic self
Scouting America.
Scouting America. So this is like some Bud Light level shit.
I know.
And then their enrollment is at an all-time low, especially after they started taking girls. And then they had like a choice. Hey, do we not let girls in and go back to what this was traditionally, or do we double down and bring in all the freaks? And they doubled down, unfortunately. All right, moving on. Chris Cuomo. He's been in the news lately. He's been talking about ivermectin and how it's all of a sudden he figured out it actually works and isn't a big deal.
Yeah, he cracked it 3 years later.
Yeah, check out this clip.
I am taking a, what do they call it? Like a regular dose, whatever. They're trying to build up of ivermectin. Ivermectin was a boogeyman early on in COVID.
You couldn't talk about it.
That was wrong. We were given bad information about ivermectin. The real question is why? Everyone's going to say Joe Rogan was right. No, Joe Rogan was saying, yeah, he was right. But that's not what matters. What matters is the entire clinical community knew that ivermectin couldn't hurt you.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? Because all this information, I don't know if he's a smart guy all of a sudden, but all this information was known to us at the same exact time. This information has been out forever. There were doctors screaming about how ivermectin is effective. It's cheap. There's minimal side effects. People in Africa take it prophylactically. It's like not a big deal. It's over the counter, super easy. Yep. And then everyone made fun of us and said, "Oh, you're taking horse pills?
Yeah.
Oh, you taking horse pills?"
You should have seen the late night guys. They did bits on that for weeks.
Yeah, and they called us crazy. They censored us. They got strikes on YouTube, people taken down, people accused of misleading the public and being dangerous.
And eventually they started targeting people who were prescribing it, right?
Yeah.
They were like trying to intervene and say, no, you can't prescribe this, right?
Doctors lost their licenses, stuff like that. But the information was available the whole time. Everyone the whole time knew that ivermectin was not a big deal. But now Chris Cuomo wants to pretend he's being an honest journalist, and he's going to come out and say, hey, we were wrong. We got this wrong. On purpose.
Yeah. And
you were part of the psyop.
And it's like the broadly correct information is this much of it. And then like timeliness is like that much of it. Mm-hmm. And it's like you're 4 years late saying mea culpa right now.
Yeah.
It's like kind of, you should have cast doubt even a little bit before. But of course he was a company man doing the company line, right?
Yep. And here's him and Don Lemon doing exactly that.
People who are injecting drugs for animals and horse.
And people telling them to. Oh, my God. What person? You talk about, cancel culture and who to shame. Ivermectin, a dewormer, really?
They are shaming themselves. No one has to shame them. They're shaming themselves.
No, they need to be shamed.
Yeah.
They need to be called out and shamed, brother.
They need to be called out and shamed, he says to the homosexual.
Yeah, that's like so far from neutral. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not even funny. And for him to come crawling back like a little rat is despicable. And, your record matters, right? You can't be like, oh, how many times can you have an awakening? Like, oh, I'm far left and, whoa, I'm back to the middle and now I'm right. And it's like, all right, man, when are you going to be wrong again? I'm waiting for you to be dead wrong again soon.
Yeah, but now that I think he works at Valuetainment now for,
I think
what's his name?
Patrick Bet-David, I think, hired him.
So now he's going to start playing it straightforward, I guess.
I'm a normal guy. I'm regular.
I'm taking ivermectin.
I'm balanced.
And also we're seeing this in some news around the world. There's some backtracking on the vaccine, AstroZeneca. Check this clip out.
The AstroZeneca COVID vaccine is being withdrawn worldwide after the pharmaceutical giant admitted it causes a rare and dangerous side effect. AstroZeneca admitted the claims in court documents lodged in February.
That's interesting.
Rare and dangerous.
And they withdrew it after they gave it to everybody for 2 years.
Does that help anybody? No.
Oh, oops.
Yeah, there was like one guy who was in line to get the AstroZeneca vaccine again. He goes, oh, whoa, I almost did it.
Yeah.
Like one 80-year-old man.
So that's interesting to see. And if you kind of look at it from a broader perspective, it makes you wonder if the deep state is looking to turn and blame Trump for the vaccine side effects and stuff like that, potentially.
Plausible.
Because it's interesting that now they're kind of changing their tune. So got to keep an eye on that.
And then it's so funny because when you look back in time about when COVID, who did what when, and who was early or late, like that timeline of when information was known, it's so important. And then now, 4 years later, you can kind of go back and be like, oh, yeah, Trump did it. And then when in reality, all the pressure on federal employees, most employees, even private companies was like after Biden got elected.
Yeah.
DeSantis was early on some stuff, but still was locking some stuff down. And it's like they kind of count on you blending it all together in your head and not being able to keep it straight and then just being able to backtrack like Chris Cuomo.
Exactly. And I think Andrew Cuomo did an interview where he was saying how like COVID was so good in New York because it was all voluntary and everyone listened to the guidance.
Yeah.
But it was like voluntary. Huh. That doesn't sound, I don't remember it that way.
I remember a ship in the harbor. I remember some weird stuff like that.
Yeah, so they're trying to pretend it was all voluntary and no one made you do anything. Like people chose to get vaccinated. They would have lost their job and not be able to go to school, but
restaurants were definitely off limits.
But they volunteered to do it.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to RFK. He's got brain worms.
RFK Jr. says doctors found a dead worm in his head after it ate part of his brain.
And it makes you wonder if we all have worms. We know we have them in our butts. I'm sure we feel them all the time. Sometimes we scratch them with our underwear. But are we full of worms? And on top of that, maybe that's why ivermectin was made illegal too, because ivermectin would have got out all the worms.
Yeah. What was that first part about butt worms and shit? That was, that's an assumption. All of us.
Yeah, we all got worms.
Okay.
We know we all got worms. If RFK's got worms, you guys got worms too.
Yeah.
RFK can do like 20 pull-ups.
That's true.
You guys got worms.
Yeah.
Maybe worse.
What a thing to admit. He didn't have to bring that up. There's doctor-patient confidentiality. He didn't have to admit, as he's running a presidential campaign, that worms ate his brain.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, I don't know.
But, you know, as everyone knows, parasites are demonic, and it is part of how they control us, which is probably why they didn't want ivermectin going over the counter for everyone, because they were probably working on something for a long time, getting worms in everybody.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I've let you cook enough. All
right,
let's move on.
Speaking of brain worms,
okay.
Joe Biden had a pretty tough week this week. Here's him reading the teleprompter incorrectly again.
My theology professor at the Catholic school I went to was a guy named Riley, last name. And he had been drafted by the
And he just keeps rolling, too.
I know. He doesn't even care.
He doesn't even care. He doesn't even notice.
He assumes most of the press will cover for him, which he does. The only thing it gets out on is like Fox and social media.
And us.
So it's good. Yeah, exactly. Us. And so it's good enough, you know? That's kind of good enough that most people won't see it. And I think last time he read something off the teleprompter, I said he has 10 more of these before the election. So that's down to 9, guys.
Yep.
All right.
Good call. And then this is kind of like what I'm noticing. This is like the stage of dementia where it becomes hard for the family, but the person with dementia doesn't know they have dementia yet.
Yeah.
So the person with dementia would be like, why is the TV remote in the freezer?
Yeah.
But they don't remember that they put it there. And then it's like, oh, and they get mad at you. Like you.
They get angry.
They get angry.
Anger and outbursts is a big sign of losing your faculties. So
exactly.
that's a good prediction. Let's look for Joe Biden to get mad and like snapping at an assistant.
Snappy.
I think you'll see like him grab something soon. Why'd you take that? And it's like, you just handed it to me, sir. So that's coming. That's another prediction to put on paper.
Yeah, that's very smart. All right. And obviously, Biden's opposition for the upcoming election, Donald Trump, is in court still. He had an interesting quote, which I think the whole show audience should know and just kind of live by a little bit.
Yeah, Trump says he doesn't stress over his legal troubles. If you care too much, you tend to choke. And in a way, I don't care. It's just, life is life.
So true.
It's called rolling with the punches.
Yeah. You can't live in fear and be like this and like reacting. You got to just go do your thing, and whatever happens to you on the way is what happens to you, and you can adjust and improvise on the fly. But being scared and worrying, you're not going to be able to expand to your full potential if you live with that mindset.
Absolutely. And the same thing comes from like when other people are judging you too. Mm-hmm. It's like if you're worried about what somebody else thinks a little too much, then you're going to get the yips and miss that 6-foot putt when money's on the line on the 9th hole. Like Fleckus.
That happened to me.
Yeah.
We've been playing
no biggie
at Twin Brooks.
I forgot you were wearing that.
This 9-hole course, and it's such a piece of crap. In a good way, though. It's a real low-class establishment.
Their greens are nice.
The greens are nice, but
Twin Brooks
you tee
credit.
off from a driving range mat.
Yeah.
And there's nothing more than like a 9-iron you'll ever need. But we've been playing a lot. It's been fun. Yeah. All right. We also have an update from Georgia. There's a hearing about the ballots and some discrepancies. Can you read this back and forth?
Yeah, it says, does the investigation confirm that there are missing ballot images? Yes. Case closed. No cover-up operation can conceal the fact that Fulton County did not have the votes it claimed it had. The recount could not replicate the original results. Oh, and it's news to Fulton County that they are missing over 300,000 ballot images from Election Day.
Oh, maybe Chris Cuomo will be like, oh.
Well, I always thought it privately. I never said it on TV.
Yeah, what's going on with these elections from 4 years ago?
But yeah, this is just like the ongoing litigation drilling down into what happened in Georgia, and we've obviously known this. The Atlanta region was one of the main crazy late night counters. All the creaseless ballots that were just like flat as a piece of paper, never been mailed, never been folded or anything.
Yep.
And this is like, you're looking at the tip of the iceberg, what happened underneath the water. And then that same thing, that's just one Georgia iceberg, and then you have a Michigan iceberg, and then you have a Pennsylvania iceberg, and
Arizona.
Exactly, and it depends where you're going to get to the bottom of any of them, and it just all smells like shit.
Yeah, it's not good. And then this lady was there during the hearing, and I see guilty face.
Yeah, that's a guilty face right there. That's a caught me.
Yeah, that's a worry that they caught you, and now it's being presented in a public setting, and you know you kind of did something bad. It's actually treason.
Yeah, I don't want to say DP penalty, but it could be.
Yep. But we do have good news. Barron Trump is getting into politics. I think he's going to be a
Florida delegate?
A Florida delegate.
Of some kind.
And which is great news because he's one of 50 million Arcturian souls currently incarnated as human. So in his past life, he ascended out of his body without death to earn the title of master. In his current life, Palladians say he's one of the smartest humans alive and will be a great leader in 5D Sheen.
Great. Great. I'm glad you read that one. Appreciate it.
That's good news.
You gave me a break.
I will say this. A couple days ago, we had a call from an insider.
Oh.
Someone who's got inside knowledge and inside access, and he told us that for VP potential, they're thinking Marco Rubio because he's Hispanic.
Wow.
So I kind of want to blow myself up when I hear something like that. All right, moving on. You know what I was thinking?
More worm stuff?
No, this is actually serious. Remember 9/11?
Yeah.
And how the whole world saw it, and it was different from like past atrocities because the whole world was able to see it on TV and on their phone, on their cameras.
Yeah.
I think everyone seeing it and being sad about it could have made an entity that maybe has been hovering over the United States ever since, kind of haunting us and living off of our divisive negative energy.
Okay, what do we do about it then, if that's true?
I don't know. I just wanted to bring it up that for the first time, like that moment, that event was like for the first time seeing an atrocity on a grand scale. The whole world saw it. I think all that scared energy could have built a very negative entity.
All right, fair.
Particle collider, stuff like that.
All right. Losing me.
All right, let's get more positive. That was just a joke. Is the right bad at taking wins? We saw this post online, and it made us kind of wonder. Can you give it a read?
Yeah, it's from the Red Scare Pod subreddit. It said, "Why won't the anti-woke right-wingers just take the W?" And then the post says, "I'm pretty sure they won. Even my normal libtarded friends don't blink at words like retard and gay anymore. The people I knew with weird pronouns 5 years ago don't care about that stuff anymore. As far as I can tell, it's over. Why are they talking about the woke mind virus more than ever? How fucking dumb are conservatives that they can't even recognize when they've won?" And it's interesting. I mean, there's some interesting points. I mean, we never say things like the woke mind virus. We're usually making fun of individual points and stuff like that. We have been saying gay and retard and homosexual and whatever we want.
Yeah. And ground has been taken back by the right for sure. The pendulum is coming back, but I don't think it's over.
I don't think it's anywhere close to over.
Not even close.
We're going to get to it later where two gay guys acquired a baby still.
Yep.
That should be a Chris Hansen. Why'd you think it was okay to acquire a baby instead of an actual, they get the baby and then they leave? And yeah, so a couple of replies to this. Somebody said, when your cancer starts regressing, do you stop your treatments?
That's true.
And then somebody else said, oh, the pendulum has just begun to slow down. It hasn't even begun going the other direction yet. So I do feel like we are winning a little bit, and a huge part of it is not being censored every time you say something like that on Twitter.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, I mean,
the pendulum is swinging back.
And there are some wins, and then people got over their skis. It's called getting out over your skis. And the gay left, and the word police, and the pussies, and the HR fat women, like you said that. They got over their skis with how much they could do, and then all of a sudden, you're getting awarded $1 million for wearing blackface acne cream.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point. And I think,
we're trending in the right direction to an extent.
Exactly. We're trending in the right direction, but also don't forget, like a cornered animal. And, that's when it gets crazy. So, like, if they feel like they're losing power, they're going to try and do something over the top to get it all back fast.
Okay.
So keep it, we can't take our foot off the gas right now.
And I also agree that it is important to take stock of where you are in the grand scheme, zoom out, 1,000-foot view, and see where the pendulum's at and keep vibing it out,
That's a good point. And also, part of the pendulum swinging back is correcting things that don't work, that were flawed from the start.
Okay.
So that's what's going on with Bumble. Bumble is that dating app where the girl messages first, and that sounds like a good idea. Oh, we're going to give girls the agency to reach out to who they want to and whatever. But then people realize that girls don't like that.
That's hard.
They like when a guy reaches out to them because the men are the pursuers and the girls are pursued. So the idea sounds great on paper, like, oh, we're going to let the ladies be the man. But then you kind of get stuck in a relationship with like a passive guy or a feminine guy. Can you kind of read what the...
Well, it says the evolution. For those of you who don't know what Bumble is, it was advertised as a more women-controlled thing. So the evolution of Bumble, sick of men inboxing women. The patriarchy is so creepy and icky. Like you match someone on Tinder and then the guy just goes, "Hey, what's up?
Where are you now?"
And on Grindr, it's worse.
Grindr.
Meet me in the Delta Sky Lounge. Meet me in the bathroom at Penelope's. Some bar. It's always the bathroom. Just spit. So it's sick and tired of men inboxing women. The patriarchy is so creepy and icky. Starts dating app to reverse the natural order. Women now have to make the first move. So empowering, so brave and stunning. And then women complain that it's exhausting, and you reinstate the natural law, which is... And I mean, the natural law is the natural law for a reason. Men, we've explained it with gay men before. Gay man, no governor. Meet me in the bathroom.
Goes crazy.
Goes fucking nuts. You get monkeypox. You get weird shit. But, the real natural law is man pursues women, women gatekeep, and then men prevails if it's a match, right? And so Bumble's done a full backtrack, and now they're just basically any dating app. So
Yep. That's good to see. And then hopefully this will be like the canary in the coal mine and other things will come after, like prison reform, for example.
Ooh.
People do prison reform, and then years ago it sounded good. We have too many minorities in jail, too many people in jail. This isn't fair. We need to let everyone out. And then you kind of see what the results of that are, and then hopefully someone will go, hey, let's go back to the original plan, and if you break the law, you go to jail.
Yeah, 3 strikes and it's a minimum sentence of 15 years type shit.
Yeah. So hoping Bumble extrapolates prison reform.
Okay, that's a leap. That's a leap. That's like the Worms to 9/11 leap you made. I think that was Worms related.
No, it was Worms to ivermectin.
Okay, all right.
Which was a real leap.
Yeah.
That made sense.
That's fair.
All right, last page of housekeeping, the Palestine Israel protesters. There was, we've been saying this for weeks now, it's an anti-white agenda just disguised as this Middle East conflict protesting, right?
Again, it's an iceberg.
Exactly.
There's a lot of anti-white mass making up the bulk of the iceberg, right?
Exactly. And here we have a World War II memorial, I believe, getting desecrated.
This might have been World War I.
Or World War I.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
So they're burning the flag. They wrote Gaza on the memorial. And this is a World War I memorial. Then Memetic Sisyphus had a tweet. We'll let it play in the background, but Memetic Sisyphus had a tweet about it right there, yeah.
It's about the children in Gaza. Defaces World War I monument. We just want to stop genocide. Lights American flag on fire. We just want peace. Breaks into spirited chants of death to America.
Yeah, exactly.
So, sometimes actions speak louder than words, and sometimes the actions and the words converge into actual threats of violence, and sometimes you got to believe them. You take someone at their word.
Sometimes it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I'm sounding a little bit like John from the Overpass there, to be honest.
And then some protesters don't fully get it, and they're just out there, and they're like useful idiots.
It's fun. They're useful idiots. They want to feel like a part of something. They've never made a baseball team before, so
yeah.
There's no tryouts. You actually just show up.
Exactly. And then some protesters like don't fully get it, but they hate white people and like America and racism and imperialism, so they're out there. And it's like... Then there's the organizers, too, who are getting paid. But, like, very few people are actually brought into the fold, the highest fold, where they know that this is, like, an anti-white agenda, just hasn't been fully sprung on the public yet.
Yeah, they keep, it's like a dead drop, CIA-type stuff. It's like, okay, I'm telling you to go, you organize, and then there's a disconnect between us. And that's like the George Soros types who are funding it.
They compartmentalize.
Exactly. It's smart. It's good operations, right?
They run a really... high-level operation.
Yeah.
And that's no joke. But they do think because, America has white supremacy and colonialism or whatever they say, that anyone who is oppressed is good.
Yeah.
So you automatically get points. So if you're Palestinian, it doesn't matter if you have like a terrorist way of thinking and you hate America and you're mad that America gives money to Israel and weapons to Israel and then Israel uses those to kill innocent Palestinians. they don't understand that like those Palestinians are not happy with Americans.
Yeah.
You know, but they just think like, oh, they're oppressed, they're righteous, they're automatically getting good points in my book. And they're actually siding with people who do not respect or have their best interests at hand. And that goes across the board too. There's another quote here, or it was a tweet that Medic Sisyphus replied to. Can you give it a read?
It says, pay close attention to the construction of whiteness and criminalization of POC by the president and some of the press, as Mexican/Central Park 5 rapists have been used before. MS-13 and Hamas are becoming blanket excuses to shoot, arrest, and kill non-white animals broadly.
And then Medic Sisyphus had a reply to that. Can you give it a read?
Yeah, he said, the progressive religion is an interesting one. Their devil, white supremacy, is a terrible foe. It's so terrible that they will pick up the banner for anyone who opposes it. Rapists, murderers, and extortionists are not bad people. They've just been defined bad by the system. Since these are enemies of the system, the progressive goes out of their way to support them. They are brothers in arms against the great demon.
There you go.
It's like, empty the jails, we're taking over, we're fighting this. And it's like, that guy just was a cannibal or something. You know, it's obviously, they'll team up with anybody. Yep. The enemy of their enemy is my friend. And whereas everybody else needs to go, look, okay, is that my enemy too?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
What does he want to do when I let him out?
They don't care.
They don't care. And then that's why we have situations like we have in Europe, where you have all these third world Muslim migrants like taking over Europe, but because they're not white and this is a change, like that's a good thing. But then you get these horrible stories all the time. There was one out of Belgium of like a gang rape of a 14-year-old girl.
Yeah, a 14-year-old girl lured into a forest in Belgium by her boyfriend, who then allowed 10 children to ambush and gang rape her. Police say the rapist, aged between 11 and 16 years old, were young people of immigrant origin. The accused rapist filmed the attack and posted it on social media. The incident took place in Kortrijk, West Flanders, about 5 miles from the French border. The girl was reportedly in the forest for 2 days, was raped, abused, and tormented. 6 of the suspects have been placed in a closed institution and 4 were placed under house arrest. The youngest suspect is 11 years old. The suspects have all been identified and arrested, and measures have been taken by the juvenile court. Our attention is now going first and foremost to the victim. She is receiving counseling, said the West Flemish prosecutor's office.
So these are the people that progressives are bringing here. They obviously don't have experience with third worlders or what they're actually about. And the people who are promoting this, for example, are Fatties for Palestine.
Yeah.
This new group that I discovered on Instagram.
Yeah, here's a picture of them. It's true to their name. They're all fat and they like Palestine. And here's a clip from one of them.
So they got, very nice.
Yep. Fat and supporting Palestine. It's actually easy. You only need to be 2 things.
And then when they come here, they're going to hate you.
Yeah. I would say they might do the thing that they did in Belgium there, but probably not. They'll probably pick someone who's not fat. But also, I saw actually, and Fatties for Palestine went private on Instagram. That kind of got some attention, and they were like, shit, are we getting cooked on the internet?
Yeah.
So they went private, unfortunately, but those pics were saved beforehand. I went to Trader Joe's the other day, and I saw 2 people, real lesbian, real non-binary types, and they both were wearing masks, and then they had that little Hamas scarf. They love the Hamas scarf. It's accessorizing for them.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a new identity. There's something every other quarter about, like speaking of time, like COVID, Ukraine, and then some they like more than others. And Palestine, they like more. The leftists like more. Ukraine was like, white men versus white men. Let's just, I don't really care. This one they love. COVID they loved. And then the real zealots, they mix and match, like the one I saw at Trader Joe's. The COVID mask, Hamas thing. That's a 4-year span. They're dedicated. You know?
Yeah.
So
big time. Well, that is the end of housekeeping. We're moving on to Cringe of the Week. Our first clip from Cringe is this homosexual is dating an old man, I guess.
It's really not a daddy complex. It's a grandpa complex. I am a gerontophile. I am attracted to gerontology, elderly people.
Evan is 52 years old. Bill, his partner, is 98.
Never imagine that I could get this old.
Bill is the first relationship in my life. I've been 100% monogamous.
Because you guys are having a good sex life.
Very good. Daily, very good. Completely satisfied.
At what age did you realize?
What are you doing to him?
What are you doing to Bill?
What are you doing to
What the
Bill?
fuck are you doing to Bill?
Very satisfied. It's like, oh.
What are you doing to Bill? What?
He's 98 years old.
Yeah.
Keep it going. Let's see what else they say.
What I think about with you is that because you like these older men, you're dealing with a lot of death in your life and a lot of heartbreak. How have you been able to grapple with that?
So much right now.
Evan, you went on Silver Daddies.
I was on Silver Daddies for like 20 years. My desired age range, mine was 70 to 90. And over 90, okay, I might think you're hot. But I'm not going to start something with someone already over 90.
So, is this real?
This was a huge contention between me and Fleckus before the episode was, is this real? We're Googling things. We're looking up Silver Daddies. Silver Daddies checks out. It's real.
Silver Daddies is real.
Is real. Unfortunately, I didn't click.
That's how gay guys bang old guys.
I Googled it. I didn't click. I didn't go a step further. And then we went to this guy, Matt Cullen's bio, and it's filled with other stories that are basically like this and loosely close enough to be satire, but kind of look real. So I can't even...
I think real.
I think we kind of are here. We're here with it, you know? I'm like on Gladiator. But yeah, what are you doing to Bill, buddy?
Oh.
You need to...
I'm really satisfied every day.
Yeah. Hint, like he's hinting at how good. So disgusting shit is happening. The governors are off, even on an old guy, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. This was a huge. We were Googling, frantic research, trying to figure out how if this was real or not. So
yeah. Well, let's go on to the next clip in our Twink Cringe section. These Twinks acquired a baby again.
Another one.
Look at this guy.
Oh no, I'll put it back on her.
I know.
Oh, he went there. Oh,
Babies don't know much early on.
Yeah.
But they know that ain't right.
They know something ain't right there. Yeah. I'll tell you what.
And they gave him a wheelchair too.
Yeah.
They gave him the full pregnant woman experience.
You know how much attention he likes. He's wearing pajamas. He's got his hair braided, and
he's getting wheelchaired around like he just delivered a baby.
The hospital wheelchair. So I don't know, man. Every time something like this happens, I mean, there's not much new here. Twink's acquiring a baby. I said before, this should be a Chris Hansen thing. Like they should be like, yeah, we'll sign you up. And then it's like, all right, come to meet your newborn, and you're confronted right there.
What were you doing?
What made you think you could just buy a baby?
Trying to purchase a baby from this woman?
And it's like, we're going to fingerprint you, we're going to DNA swab you, and we're going to test you against Copus or whatever, like the DNA database is.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't have any crimes against children. But yeah, so it should be confronted, but instead he's getting wheelchaired around, he's playing.
If only you knew how bad things really are.
Baby.
And then, like we've said in the past, a big reason this happens is because of Modern Family.
Yeah, Modern Family did this. You can all trace this back. You pull a thread, and you're pulling for an hour, and you go, oh my God, the two gay guys from Modern Family.
Yep, it came all the way back to an ABC show.
Crazy.
Because they brought the baby home. Everything was great, and these gay guys are so happy. But then they don't actually show how like sick it is to separate a baby from the mother within immediately after birth.
An hour? I don't even know.
Not good. Should be illegal even when Dave Rubin does it.
Especially. Almost especially.
We're consistent.
Yeah. It's easy to be consistent.
It's easy to be consistent when you're based in truth. All right, moving on to the next clip in Trans Cringe. There was a darts tournament, and one of the matchups was a trans woman versus a normal woman.
Yeah.
And then the normal woman backed out and forfeited because she didn't want to play a trans.
Yeah, female darts player Dita Hedman refuses to play a transgender opponent, forfeits match, and I believe this was in the Netherlands or Denmark.
Very nice.
Yeah, so...
And that's it. That's the way to do it, but also keep in mind, men and women are separated not just in physical sports, they're also separated in chess.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm not saying men are better at everything than women. We're just different.
Yeah.
You have to say that because women can't take criticism that good.
Okay, that's fair. We'll keep that. We'll keep that off.
Everyone's the same.
Yeah.
Everyone's
no, and there's like a spatial awareness thing. Like there's some test I've read about that. Like there's a test where if you put like a water in, if you move the vase that's carrying the water, like 80% of women get it wrong, like where the water line would be. There's just kind of like a mental acuity, like hunter type thing where we needed eyes and depth perception and everything. And women just didn't get it.
Yeah.
They were back at home raising a little baby.
Weaving a basket.
And they did a great job. Yeah. You ever see me try to weave a basket? I get frustrated. I snap it. It's not what I'm built for, right?
It's not consistent all around. There's different, it's tight over here and loose over here.
And you get frustrated and you want to hit something, right? Yeah. And that's my weakness, right? We all have different things. Here's a quote that's good from the trans darts player, though. No fake illness. I said I wouldn't play a man in a ladies' event, Hedman wrote on X. So she's not even like copping out or doing shit like that. So shout out to her.
Said I wouldn't play a man.
Yeah.
Hey, I love to see it.
That's old school shit.
All right, let's wrap up Cringe with the California college system. There's UCLA has a class.
Yeah.
And in this class, here's what they're teaching the kids. So that was a trans rapper.
Saying I got titties up top and dick on the bottom.
Yeah. So this is what your dads pay for.
Yeah.
Go to school.
80K? I don't know.
Probably a lot, especially if you're out of state.
If you're out of state, it's up there. If you're in state and you get good grades, you might be able to attend this class pretty cheaply.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Of course, there's no educational value to it, and I can't imagine what and then the teacher goes like, all right, class, so how do we feel about the implications of transracial aggression in America in the early 21st century, like as if it's some academic point to be made on titties up top and dick at the bottom, right?
Yeah, it's very true. And then in Berkeley, or at Berkeley, it's not much different. This is what the professor looks like when teaching the class. So he's wearing the furry outfit.
What if your lecturer was a cat? And this, I want to say again, like the big titty woodshop teacher, right? Mm-hmm. That's a $350 silicone tits thing.
Yeah,
that's pretty expensive. That's committed to the bit, it's called. This is an absolute high-end furry suit. Look at how that's like stitched. The claws are perfect. The head's great. It's all form-fitting. That's like I'm guessing over $1,000 for that minimum. So
yeah,
it's called commitment to the twink shit.
It is a commitment to the twink shit, but unfortunately, it's like your teacher's wearing like some dog suit he gets fucked in.
Yeah, and it's all about. I don't want to do a hand signal, but it's all about beating it.
Yeah, and that's what they do. And then there's little clumps of like sticky stuff in the fur. It's actually disgusting.
Yeah.
And don't forget, there will be a quiz at the end of Cringe, right before Urban Decay, which we're at now.
Okay.
So quizzing the audience. Can you read the question?
Yeah. All right. And guys, this is a college level quiz. So if you get this right, you are operating at a UCLA level, right? In the song Up Front by Sunken Angel, he says he has titties up top and blank on the bottom. A, vagina. B, a flat, holeless surface like a Barbie. C, more titties. Or D, dick. Submit your answers now.
Let everyone know.
Yeah.
That's a college level course. I could have done that in college.
Yeah, imagine raising your hand. Will this be on the test after the titties up top and dick on the bottom shit?
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Don't get too down or too depressed. It's going to get a little bit worse. We're in Urban Decay. Dana White was in New York City, and he filmed
FedEx Driver.
FedEx Driver, and this is how he was working.
Throwing boxes deep into the truck.
FedEx. We'll get your shit there, but we'll fuck it up.
Just tossing it in.
You get the point.
We get the point. And the overarching theme that we're seeing across the board, especially after COVID, no one takes pride in normal work anymore because they think that they're oppressed and doing work like this or in the service industry is like below them.
Yeah.
Especially minorities, because everyone's convinced that because they're a minority, they're a victim and they're oppressed by white supremacy. So like the days of going to an old school restaurant where like a black waiter says yes sir to a white person or no sir
doesn't feel right anymore.
Yeah, what was it, slavery? Like those days are long gone.
Yeah, and you know what? There's some contention here. Like people who work at a FedEx processing center, they go, oh, wait until you see what FedEx does to your stuff at a processing center. And like, you know, it's on conveyor belts, it's whipping around, it's kind of getting manhandled. And it's like, yeah, but there's still a customer facing aspect. Like, you don't do this shit in public. You don't throw it over someone's fence. You don't chest pass it into a truck. It's bad for the brand. You might as well rebrand and dismiss your FedEx thing and call it the Boy Scouts of America or something, you know, just totally jump away from your brand, right? And so, like, either way, there's something wrong with it. Like, you're not keeping up the illusion of, you know, valuing what's in the box, or you're, you know, just disrespecting your own brand. So
it's a great point. Yeah. And you know who doesn't throw boxes?
Who?
Robots.
Oh, yeah. Robots place it gently. And they go a little slow.
They go a little slow, but it's perfect. And then it costs no money. And I was thinking about robots and how like they'll obviously be taking over soon. That's kind of how universal basic income can happen too. Because like AI and robots, they'll go in and not cost anything, but then the money that would have been spent on the employee, I'm sure can be recouped in some way, and then that'll be distributed to people. Data too. A lot of people have data, and I think there's going to be a world where like our data is so valuable that we can like sell our data for like $500 a month, and like everyone can kind of get on that plan, but we won't realize how much data we're giving up, and it'll be an intrusion of our rights or whatever. But I kind of think that's what's coming.
But some brokies they'll be like, where do I sign?
Yeah,
I'll sell my
$500 a month.
data.
Yeah, have my data.
Yeah, track me all the time.
That's what's going to happen. So there's going to be universal basic income, and it's going to come from AI and data selling.
All right.
Maybe. All right, next clip is the drink with the garnish. This woman went to a restaurant, and there was a monkey garnish in her tropical drink, and she thinks it's racism.
Okay, y'all. It's my birthday month, so I decided to try this bar in DC called King Oyster Bar. So I ordered a drink. I think it was a tequila sunrise, but I wanted the slushy kind. So he brought it back to me and tell me why I found a monkey in my drink. I really don't know how to feel about this situation because we came in here and we spent good money on our food and drinks. And for me to get a monkey and me to be a black woman with the locks, I just felt some kind of way. Light for part two.
She just felt some kind of way because a little plastic monkey was in her tropical drink.
Yeah, well, that's a good enough reason to tip $0.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what she did.
$160 bill, tip $0, of course.
And this is in D.C., which is like 98% Democrat.
Yeah, if this was a tropical bar in southern Georgia, in a sundown town that doesn't exist, but you think it does, then I'd be like, scratching my chin. Is there a chance? You're in Washington, D.C., literally such a high demographic of blacks, right?
Yep. And obviously, I don't even think the bartender probably knew what table it was going to. They probably just said, hey, tequila sunrise, tequila soda, vodka, whatever.
One
boom,
turtle,
boom, boom.
One gets a turtle, a sea turtle, one gets a monkey, one gets a this.
And they just send it out, and that's it. But if you're looking for racism, obviously you can find it everywhere you look.
And if you're looking to not tip, you can find racism everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's actually, it's like solve for X. She's actually working backwards, where the goal is no tip. I kind of overspent. Me and the girls had a wild night. We ordered too many drinks. I really don't want to tip. Bingo. There's my free ticket, right?
Exactly.
A little blue monkey in my drink.
Hey, I got there and I had to park far away. There wasn't ample parking. I had to park around the block. Why?
No tip.
Because they're trying to keep a black person out of here?
Yeah. no tip. Yeah. Holy shit. Someone didn't greet me on my way in. That's a reason not to tip. And then it's like you're looking for a better reason not to tip.
Yeah.
Because you're definitely not going to tip ever. But it's about how you feel about yourself.
Yeah, that hot steam towel kind of burned me. You trying to burn me alive? What am I? Getting tarred and feathered at 17-something? 1700? No tip.
No tip.
Yeah, so that's how it goes.
So they work backwards. And then it's actually funny because this drink, this touch, is so much better. It's a thoughtful additional piece of work that they do to make their drinks nice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You don't have to put that in there.
Yeah.
But they do, and then it backfires on who? The server.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's a high-end place.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the extra step they took, and then you get no tip at a high-end place. And it's not like I was the waiter.
Yeah.
Then I'd be like, all right.
You caught me.
Fat Racist Podcast.
I was I did pick a monkey for.
All right, let's move on to our next clip. Remember the bad lawyer from last episode?
Yeah, Jayoma. And we have some more specifics. Base Latin DM'd me. He said he's from Houston.
Okay.
So it's a real bad city. You know, it's not like Houston's up and coming,
So
right?
we found a little montage of all the people he's gotten off, and listen to some of these.
We were early on this, and TikTok since then has also turned on him, and they're digging up like some of the bad shit and some of the worst criminals who he's gotten off.
What are you charged with? Indecency of a child.
What were you charged with? I was charged with child endangerment with a kid, a 12-year-old on top of my truck.
And what were you charged with?
And
what were you charged with?
Sexual assault of a child.
And what were you charged with?
Terroristic threat.
Minutes. All right. And what were you charged with?
Indecent exposure, playing with my junk in front of a lady.
And he got them all off. That first guy, that guy was facing 20 years, and he was going to be on the sex offender list because he was caught groping a child.
12-year-old,
a
did they say?
12-year-old, top and bottom.
Yeah.
Completely, like, horrible.
Multiple child endangerments in there. So, like you said, sexual assault of a child. Like, bad shit. The guy at the end was honestly the least. He was playing with his pecker, it sounds like, in front of a lady. But, you know, Jayoma is kind of getting a bad reputation here, where he's helping people who should be put away for 20 years, right?
He's go, I got you off. The case entirely dismissed.
Yeah.
Who are you looking out for, buddy?
I know. We're locked in with these people in society at large now because he's getting these charges dropped.
And then we always talk about how like these people who get let off and like they're the same recurring criminals over and over.
Like the 105 convictions guy we talked about.
Yep, perpetually committing crimes. And we have like an iceberg graph that kind of sums it all up, and it's actually worse than even we've described.
Yeah, we updated this because it used to be the iceberg theory where it's just like the crimes they got convicted of and then the crimes they got away with, which is a lot. You usually get away with a lot, right? But now with Jayoma, it's led us to kind of rethink this iceberg to different layers, right? So at the top, you have convictions. You did a robbery, you got convicted of a robbery, right?
Yep.
Then there's crimes that they pled down, which is like, oh, I punched an old lady, which is like aggravated assault, but I pled down to simple battery. The prosecutor didn't want to work that hard or, you know, something or other. So what it says on your record looks better than what you actually did. Then there's the Jayoma shit, charges dismissed. Yeah, I was playing with my pecker. Yeah, I touched that underage kid. But I got the charges dismissed. And then all the way at the bottom, where the most massive of the iceberg is the crimes they actually got away with. And they never got caught, they never got confronted for. So there's 4 layers to this, and it makes me hate perpetual criminals even more than I already did.
Me too.
So,
yep.
It's pretty dark. And then, like we were saying on last week's in Mimetic Sisyphus, he said, you know, the founding fathers, they didn't know what to do with perpetual criminals because they would have been dead already. We would have hung them. We would have killed them back in those days. And then not only that, but now it's like instead of a jury of your peers, which the founding fathers envisioned would be like, oh, a bunch of white Anglo-Saxons, now it's like racially aggrieved, mad, mixed race, non-binary fuck-ups. Yeah,
that's who our peers are.
So we're getting very far away from what the intended picture of the justice system was. And, you know, I don't know what the steps are to correct it, but
they took it as a challenge, a jury of your peers. And it's like, instead of
we'll see
loading the court, we'll just make everyone gay and retarded.
Yeah.
And then they load you up like, oh, here's your peers in New York City. And it's a fat black woman, a non-binary white person, a gay guy, one normal person.
Sometimes you're guilty before they even start the trial,
and you're fucked. And that's why you don't even go.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to come to court. You're arrested. Not doing it. All right, let's go to our last clip of Urban Decay. It's pretty scary.
Yeah.
This woman gets. You'll see.
This is on the streets of New York. Belt around the neck.
This is in the Bronx.
Choked and dragged. Where's AOC?
Yeah.
And then, like, you pass out from this in, like, 5-10 seconds, pretty much. You ever see someone choke someone UFC style?
Mm-hmm.
They're out. And so hope this guy, whatever he wants to do to you, isn't dismember you, right?
Now you're just like in between these cars getting robbed.
Yeah. So
they'll let him go. Or they'll describe him and go, he was wearing a white handkerchief on his face.
Yeah, he was a man, age something to something, wearing a white handkerchief.
Located in between a white car and a black car.
Yeah.
And hopefully he's still there.
All the most useless shit ever. So yeah, I don't know. The main lesson is, get out of cities, move somewhere safe with your family, always be situationally aware if you are in a city. Obviously the advice of leave cities is not really practical. Everybody wants to go to New York or visit or go on business, or they have a reason to every once in a while. So head on a swivel out there, because as we just went over, the iceberg of perpetual criminals, they're out there.
Yeah, and it is an election year, so like whenever you're due for a black swan event, you kind of need to get out of cities.
That's true.
It's 2020. We know what happened with George Floyd, and then all the cities blew up after that. Same for this year. It's 2024. There's an election coming. There's millions of illegals here. Should I go spend the summer in New York?
Or the suburbs?
Probably not. All right, don't get too down or too depressed. We're moving on to Uplifting Gold, and we have some great Uplifting Gold this week. First things first, I got this on my Instagram as an ad. Is this real?
I don't know.
Because it looks like they did a facelift on this grandma and turned her into her daughter.
Yeah, I don't know.
But then the hair looks so different.
Yeah, but that could have been, if you're paying for the facelift, you're paying for hair too, right?
Is that all it is? Is just tighten your skin and you become 50 years younger?
I don't know. It doesn't ring true to me, but it's funny that this Instagram is even letting you think this is possible.
Insane.
This is almost like a bad ad because you're thinking that's fake, that there's no way that can be real. They need to make it closer, and then you could get somebody.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So they overdid their scam.
But wow.
Yeah.
If that's real, wow. Yeah. All right, let's move on. I'm also not encouraging plastic surgery.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, wow. If that's real, wow.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to our next clip. Wee Wee Food ad. This is a street meat ad.
All right, here's my first try. World famous Wee Wee. I drove all the way from Maryland to try this. So let's see.
Buddy. Welcome, buddy. Wee Wee Food, my friend. Test my food and let me know. Thank you for you coming, my friend. And tell me, buddy, you eat like that before or not?
I have not. So much flavor.
Good flavor, my friend.
Oh, it's just perfection.
Thank you, boy.
Wow.
Thank you for you coming.
Street meat with pride is Americana.
Yeah.
It's obviously not American, but these people coming here and taking pride in the street meat, and you say, lamb beef combo, extra white, extra hot.
Yeah.
And you get all the sauce on it. It's disgusting. You eat it at 3 a.m. when you're drunk. You get a Gatorade with it, but it's so good. I've eaten street meat back in the day like 200 times.
For sure.
You have any street meat experience?
I do, with you too, as well. I lived in New York briefly, as you know. We definitely had some street meat times. I visited you a bunch.
Late at night. They go all night.
I do like the white sauce. Americana, I might draw the line there.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's why this show exists. We have different opinions.
Exactly.
All right, let's go to the woman attacked by the horse. I don't know why that's uplifting.
Help me. He's got my arm. And why is that uplifting gold, you may ask?
You tell me.
Because the sign says, beware, horses may kick or bite. So what was supposed to happen, happened.
You knew it was a snake when you picked it up.
Yeah, and nothing out of the ordinary happened there. And sometimes you're the one who gets got, and that entertains the rest of us.
Wow,
So-
great point. All right, our next clip is a Rasta singer who has like an anti-progressive theme to his music, and he is a Fleckus watcher from back in the day, man on the street. And he's making more music, and he sent me this. I thought it was pretty good.
Sexualizing their mind, disempowering themselves by the men. Where's the shade? A culture filled with women carrying on tight family thoughts in their brain. Where's the shade? Oh, someone's in the backseat while Satan take them in. Feminism is a problem. Feminism is a problem.
It's pretty lit. Feminism is a problem. I'm going to be singing that all day. That's Abba Alabanza, Abba-Alabanza. And he is a show watcher and a Rasta singer.
Okay.
Is that a fair way to describe it?
Yeah.
And he's got anti-progressive stuff. Feminism is a problem.
Fascinating blend. So you can sing that. I'm going to sing titties up top and dick at the bottom. That's what
he's like the opposite.
I know.
Of that.
I know. And one wins out.
Yeah,
hopefully
that's going to be our guy.
Yeah.
All right, last clip of Uplifting and last clip of the show before shout-outs. Kids building a ramp.
Yeah.
This was really good.
What are you doing? You just making the ramp clean?
It's a downhill, so I'm kind of filling it in.
So let me ask this question. Why do y'all take the youngest kid and make him do the jump first?
He wants to do it first.
He wants to do it first, okay.
And they don't really.
I mean, dude, this is pretty long, man.
This is pretty long, man.
You don't think he's going to make it?
No, but he wants to do it, so let him do it. Actually, knowing Roach, he's just going to hit it fast. And it's going to send it. I think he's going
to make it, dude. But I think it's a shame that y'all let him go first and show y'all how to be men.
He's a man. He sent it. He sent it.
He made it.
Yeah.
So, how does it feel to be the biggest set of cojones out here and you're the youngest one?
Good.
Yeah, you don't even care that the old ones make you do it first, do you?
Yeah.
This is not good. This is pretty long, man. That jump.
Didn't we play the Evel Knievel when he was like 8 or whatever and the news came out? You know, not everyone can be Evel Knievel. Some people are watchers.
Or the ramp builders.
Some people are the ramp organizers.
The managers.
This kid's the hero. He's the tip of the spear, right? So
that's pretty. This ramp's a little long, man. It's like a huge mud
It's
puddle.
like an adult who actually knows physics and like the limits.
I'm surprised the kid made it.
And the kid made it, dude. That's Americana right there.
All right, that is the end of our clips. We're going on to shout-outs. We have a really good shout-out section. Happy birthday to Brian on May 7th. He's a big bonus lander. Happy birthday to Andy as well. He turned 32 on May 4th, and him and his wife, Mandy, Andy and Mandy, are big show watchers.
Andy
ever
and
since Man on the
Mandy?
Street, too.
How'd you swing that?
And they live in Albuquerque.
What's the kid's name going to be?
Randy.
It's got to do something. You guys have to.
You have to do an Andy ending to the name. So Andy and Mandy, big show watchers. Happy 32nd birthday to you, Andy, on May 4th. No May the 4th be with you jokes from here.
Yep.
Of course.
He doesn't watch Star Wars like
and
that.
And then we had a Richard Rapway doppelganger on so while someone was watching the show. A lot of people on the right wing who are being pussies and scared. And
this is a you doppelganger too.
So it's both of us.
This is brothers.
Brothers Gutters.
Brothers that just do gutters. And there's me and a graphic doppelganger. I like that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then we have here, this is like a little inside scoop. We have someone getting shouted out from like a week ago, and then it's like a surprise.
Yeah.
Birthday to Carrie on April 29th. Her and her husband also just celebrated their 15th anniversary. So God bless both
Oh
of you
my
guys.
god, are you fucking kidding me?
And your wife, Melissa.
What a
Isn't that
reaction. I love a unfiltered reaction like that. And then also, let this be a lesson to you. If your birthday is coming up and you're watching the show, you never know who could have reached out on your behalf.
That's so true.
So it can always be your moment, even if you don't think you did it, you know?
And even if someone, like, here's the little giveaway. Sometimes people message me shout outs, and I'll just screenshot it and grab it, and I won't reply saying, yes, it's going in, tune in Friday.
Yeah.
So if, you don't even have to hear back from me if you sent a request in. It's probably still going in if I see it.
And it doesn't even have to get seen on Instagram. You know what I mean? So
Exactly. Instagram is where you DM me. I don't reply to Twitter DMs or even really open Twitter DMs ever. Make sure you guys join for Bonus Land. FleckisTalks.com right now for a 30-minute Bonus Land. It's going to be a great one. And if you guys are Bonus Landers, make sure you're watching on the web browser. We're doing updates to the app, so the app will keep crashing. And if you delete it and reinstall it, it'll work. But until the app is fully debugged, get the worms out, web browser is the best place to watch. FleckisTalks.com is the website. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you in Bonus Land.
Feminism is a problem.